Houston Texans beat the Buffalo Bills on a game-winning field goal in a fun Week 5 victory here. They will be flying to New England to take on Ryan's Patriots, who suffered a tough loss against the Miami Dolphins. We're going to break down the Texans-Patriots Week 6 game, the matchups within the game that you need to look out for. At the very end of the video, provide our predictions on who we think is going to win and why. But before we get into that, we do have a goal of getting to 100 new subscribers for these Week 6 prediction video series. We've been able to hit that goal the past couple of weeks thanks to all of the new members to the Tracy Take. So thank you to everybody. And if this is your first time here, or if you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to the Tracy Take. Leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win and why. So, Ryan, Houston Texans, 58-yard field goal by Kareem Fairburn. Absolute nice little fade right down the middle of the uprights. Looked absolutely beautiful. So they go to 4-1 on the season. Yes, 4-1 on the season. Your New England Patriots have the opposite record. They're 1-4 after a tough loss to the Miami Dolphins. Let's talk quickly about the Texans here before we talk a lot about how much you love your Patriots right now. Texans, though, I think they're playing good football right now, not great, which is scary for the NFL because I think that they can really go on and continue. Nico Collins left the game, and some of the other receivers, Tank Dell's been kind of in and out of the lineup sometimes over the past couple of weeks. If all these guys can get fully healthy, and when Joe Mixon comes back and this offensive line picks it up better, I think this offense can really turn into something here. It seemed to start off the games really hot, but struggle in the second half. And so I think if they can just get a little more consistent throughout the game, I think this can be one of the better offenses in the league. And defensively, they're one of the top teams in the league as well, it seems like. Let me look statistically. Yeah, 5th overall in total yards allowed, 3rd in passing, 17th in rushing yards allowed. And I think some of that, though, too, let me double-check that. No, they just give up a lot of rushing yards. Actually, I didn't know if there was going to be an outlier to the Minnesota game. But in general, though, I think this Texans team is one of the tops in the AFC. You know who's not top in the AFC?
Yeah,
is your Patriots. So I don't know if you want to.
So I do. I am curious. I do think that the Texans are a pretty good running team as well. Like I think Joe Mixon is having a pretty good year. Part of that is too.
Joe Mixon's missed the past couple of weeks, but
he has. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they're 23rd in rushing yards allowed. I will say. You go back and double check our slides from last year, our research from last year, but I'm pretty sure that's an improvement from last year for them still. I think they were bottom tier.
Yeah, but I also thinking of the first game against the Colts, Joe Mixon had like 100 and something rushing yards. Like they had a really good game in that first week. They just haven't been healthy in that running back room since then. So that is what I'm thinking of. But this is a really good Houston Texans team. They completely did a 180 from what we thought they would be last year to what they are now, where like they're really a Super Bowl contender. And you kind of touched on it. This offense has not hit its full potential yet this year. This defense is playing really well. And yeah, this is going to be a rough week for my Patriots. This is like the exact kryptonite of anything that the Patriots are their own kryptonite first off. But like if there was anything that like a team could do to stifle the Patriots even more, I feel like the Texans do all of them. They have a great wide receiver room. They're going to spread this defense out. And like defensively, they're going to get after Jacoby Brissett, and like our receivers aren't going to be able to separate from their corners. And so it's going to be a rough week. Just to touch a little bit on New England, the one thing New England has done this year well is run the ball. I believe they're like a top 10-ish running offense in the league, especially after putting up another like 190 yards today.
They're ninth.
They're ninth, yeah. And so like that is, I think, something we could exploit is if this team does if they're the 17th ranked rushing defense, we should be able to run the ball pretty consistently against them. Problem is we won't be able to do anything else, and so maybe they'll just load the box and take the matchups on the outside. But this Patriots team is untalented, they're unprepared, and they're undisciplined, and that is just like a trifecta of disasters. They constantly did things to put themselves in bad positions throughout these last few weeks. They really struggle like on offensive game planning. Multiple times so far this year, they've allowed teams to be in position to get points at the end of the half, where if they would just run out the clock like a normal team, then like they would put themselves in better positions. They got lucky the Dolphins didn't burn them on it. So like situationally, they're just not a good football team. Game plan wise, they struggle. Offensive play calling, they're struggling. And then on top of all of that, they just have a talent issue as well.
Yeah.
And so this is a tough season for New England fans. I'm probably a little early to this, but somebody needs to go out of this New England coaching staff. I don't. Maybe Kraft sticks with Mayo for another season and lets him see if he can fix it. But at the very least, like Alex Van Pelt and this offensive coaching staff, I don't think should be around after this season. I just think with how they've handled this season and Drake May and this offense, I think it's a bad excuse for an NFL offense. Every year we've been saying like, oh, well, it can't be worse than it was last year for the last like 3 seasons. And it's like somehow they ended up topping it, how bad this offense is. This is a historically bad NFL offense. Like this is points per game, yards per game, one of the worst ever. And somehow Cleveland is being worse than us. Like and so that is, I guess, is a silver lining there. It's just this is just a bad New England team.
Well, I was watching the game today because I was watching it with Dad, and because we had the Bengals game top left, Colts game top right, Bills game bottom left, and then your game bottom right, and then we had the Panthers and Browns games on the other TV, and we weren't watching that because those were both blowouts. But like all the 4 games we were watching were all really good, and it's like your game was really good. And I say really good because the score was close. The other 3 games were really good because there's good football being played. But like watching the Patriots go, and it was really just like who could shoot themselves in the foot less because the Dolphins didn't play well either. And your Patriots team, my thing was watching it, especially too. I'm a diehard Falcons fan, not a diehard Patriots fan like you. So like, why are you having Jacoby Brissett throw the ball 34 plus times?
They ran for a franchise record like 7.9 yards per carry today.
Yeah.
You have the ball with 1:50 left on the Dolphins' 12-yard line with all 3 timeouts.
Yeah.
You throw the ball for 4 straight plays.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. It's just that decision making that kind of goes into it. And then you go one talent wise, like kind of making this come back to the Houston game. Talent wise, Houston is just far superior. And I'm going with Houston. And I think it's probably pretty obvious who you're going for. But then on top of that, though, too, I just trust the coaching staff significantly more. I trust D'Amico Ryans and company way more than Gerard Mayo and the coach that you guys have over there. It's not even just like, as you said, like you're void of talent, but it just look unprepared. Play calling looks poor. Like it doesn't even seem like there's a philosophy behind what they're trying to do. Outside of like, let's just try and get a first down. Like, obviously, you should try and get a first down, but like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like what's your identity? You know, and that just seems like that's what really struggles for the Patriots team. And defensively too, there were a couple of bonehead plays, but like some unnecessary penalties by Keon White. But in general, though, it's like your guys' only real good player. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like Christian Gonzalez is a stud. Like he's probably a Pro Bowler, but other than that, like I struggle with the talent you guys have on right now because there are some injuries like Christian Barmore, who you mentioned a lot with the blood clots, who we hope he's doing okay.
And like I do think there's more talent outside of Christian Gonzalez on the defensive side of the ball. Like Jonathan Jones, Marcus Jones, they're good corners. They're just a little redundant. They're both slot corners that are undersized. And like those are good corners. Marty Mapu is a good player. He came in and he only has had 3 practices all year. He came in off the PUP list this week, and he was actually the one like calling our plays and was doing a decent job of getting everybody. I like Keon White. He's shown some promise. Josh Uche is a good situational pass rusher. The thing that just like really frustrates me is in these press conferences, you see Gerard Mayo preach, we want to be a disciplined football team. We want to like stay in our rushing lanes. We want to be good against the run, and all these things. And it's like you go watch the game, and it's like I watched Josh Uche take the inside B gap on the right tackle like 4 times today and allow Tyler Huntley to scramble out to the right and find a receiver down the field. Like you preach all of these things, and then it's like it's not translating onto the field, and it's just undisciplined football. Like if Josh Uche had just stayed on the outside shoulder of that tackle, that pocket probably collapses on Tyler Huntley and they get a sack. But
Mhm.
instead, he just completely disregards his rushing lane and what his job is on that play, and just allows Tyler Huntley out of the pocket. And that is another thing too that is just so frustrating is the play of Jacoby Brissett. I understand this offensive line is not great. I thought at times it actually looked serviceable today, and they're still trying to figure out like the proper rotation there. Why is Jacoby Brissett playing? He was awful
Mhm.
today. Like, I maybe awful is extreme. He's just hesitant with the football. He's making throws late. Uh, he did have some plus plays in the fact of like he got outside the pocket and found open receivers, but still, like that does not even come close to the ability that I think Drake May could have in just going and making plays. And so that like I don't know why he's not in. And if you feel that this team is not capable of handling a rookie quarterback or covering up for a rookie quarterback, you shouldn't have drafted him. Like you should have gone and drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. or Joe Alt and gotten the support for a rookie quarterback first, and then gone and tried to find your franchise quarterback. And so that's like, and that's my TED talk. Like I just this team is so far beyond fixable, and like I was a
Well,
little frustrated
well,
after the
and I think then to kind of sound like what I'm initially thinking, and if you're still with us after that great TED talk, thank you. But I compare it to like the last year, like with the Cardinals when Kyler Murray was still out
yeah
and whatnot. There was very little talent on that team overall, uh, but there was still an energy and like a game plan, and like they played really hard,
yeah
and,
there was
and that
hope.
and that mattered. That mattered into the game. And it just seems like, to your point of what you're saying, is like there's undisciplined, like things just seem to just not be working, and then like the wrong decisions are still being made, like on the field. So it just a big confusion of everything. I don't think like coordinators. I think coordinators will go first before Gerard Mayo will go, just because he's the new head coach and he's kind of been given this
Yeah,
regime and this roster. So, but
I think if it stays as bad as it is throughout the rest of the year, it'll be a clean house, and they'll go get that. That's the other thing too that's really frustrating. I go look at some of those horrible Tennessee teams that Mike Vrabel had at 6-10, or like even the one year that they were the one seed. Like they missed Derrick Henry for over 10 games. Like, and they were not a good football team. But Mike Vrabel had them playing good defense, consistent offense, and they were 11-5 or 12-5 in 2021, and we're the one seed.
yeah,
It's like imagine what Mike Vrabel would be able to do with this Patriots team. Because again, there is some young talent. It's just it's not being prepared properly to go play football on Sundays. And so that's my biggest thing. And to another flip side of that, go look at D'Amico Ryans and this Texans team that they're playing this week. Yeah, they're a young football team also. Like, and they went out, they made a bunch of free agent moves, so they're not as young as they were last year. But this team is in the second or third year of this, really the second year of
second
this
year.
D'Amico Ryan's rebuild, and it's like they're competing for a Super Bowl. And I get CJ Stroud accelerated that process by like 2 or 3 years,
Yeah,
but all things considered, you're trying to go that Houston Texans model, and this team is about to come in here and whoop your ass for 60 minutes because like you made crappy decisions all off season, and this team is unprepared.
yeah.
So it's I don't even know where to go with this video from here at this point. It's just Patriots suck. The Texans are a Super Bowl contender, and it's going to be a
And
rough night for
and they're
Patriots
going to
fans.
win this game, and they're going to win this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. We'll wrap it up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. If you're still here, thank you. Leave a comment down below on why you think the Texans are going to win so much. And if you're a Patriots fan, this is a community thread for just like community therapy. Just go ahead and leave all of your painful thoughts down in the bottom on how you feel, and I will be sure to respond and comment. So other than that, let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. Thank you guys.